Hello and welcome to Breakthrough Clean University video series. My name is Sam Sachs with Nova Arms in Miami, Florida, and this is Gabe Cabrera from Breakthrough Clean. In today's videos, we will show you how to properly disassemble, clean and lubricate your 1911 pistol. The products we'll be using today, of course, are from Breakthrough Clean. Before we go any further, I would like to remind you the following firearm safety rules. They are: always point your firearm in a safe direction. Always make sure that your firearm is unloaded. Always keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot. Okay, we're ready to start the disassembly of this 1911. The first thing we'll do, we'll check that the gun is clear, the chamber is empty, and we're ready to go. We release the slide. At this point, I'll also will engage the safety. I will be using this special tool that comes in with every 1911, simply by clicking it on like that, pressing it down and rotating it to the right. At this point, be very careful as you continue to release the barrel bushing, as the spring is under considerable pressure and can really come out with a lot of force. Here we go. Now we have the spring, of course, and the spring cap. And at this point, we'll disengage the safety and allow the slide to come back. A point to note is that on the slide we have two notches. One is to lock the slide back, and the second is the disassembly notch. In this case, of course, for us to disassemble, it's important to line up that half-moon disassembly notch with the slide release lever. Once it's lined up, simply push it from the rear and push it from this side, I should say, and then remove it completely out. And now basically the slide is unlocked and we can easily remove the frame out.
Oh wow. So obviously there's a little bit of skill required to take this gun apart. It's an advanced firearm for all intents and purposes. For its disassembly, a lot of folks argue the same thing for when you're shooting it. You know, it's a very accurate firearm, low round capacity, so it has been thrown into that group of advanced firearm. You're starting to see the differences now.
Yes, at this point, of course, to continue the disassembly, the guide rod needs to come out and simply lift it slightly and remove it. And now we have it out here, and the last remaining piece is, of course, the barrel. Before removing the barrel, the one item that we still need to remove is the barrel bushing. We rotate it to the 4 o'clock position and it simply comes out. Here you go, like so. And at that point, the barrel simply slides forward. Lift it up slightly, and here we go. At this point, the 1911 is completely disassembled, or I should say, field stripped. At this point, Gabe, you got the ball. Take it away.
At this point, what I want to show you folks is that, like with our Glock video, there's different food groups that we have here. We have the slide, right? We have the frame. This is the heart and soul of this pistol. We also have some parts that make up the slide assembly, which are the guide rod, spring, and spring cap, where if you remember with the Glock, this is all one piece. Here it's different. Now there's a subtle difference in between variations of the 1911, one of them being that the traditional GI type has a small spring plug that's about yay big, and this one has a full length one. Still the same type of spring, different spring cap, because the full length guide rod needs to go through it, where the spring cap in the GI models bottoms out inside of the cap, so you don't need an open hole. And then we have our barrel bushing and slide release lever. So some of these require detailed cleaning, others don't. It's important to note that this is a field stripping. This is where we recommend that you take it down to. Again, all the folks at Nova Arms are trained instructors as well as armorers, and some have a lot of background in gunsmithing. You'll always want to refer to your specific manual for your specific firearm. We wouldn't want you folks to void your warranty in any way, shape, or form. For any questions of that nature, always make sure to call the customer service line for that specific company. That's something that we don't want you folks to do. We want to make sure that you have a very clean and well-maintained firearm, but we don't want you to void it in any way, shape, or form. That being said, let's go into the cleaning. Now, as I showed you folks for the Glock video, if you can hand me that BT-101 kit, this is possibly the most basic kit that you're going to use to clean a semi-automatic pistol, especially something that you're going to carry concealed. If you don't have a vast collection of firearms and you just have a few and you want to have a very simple field expedient cleaning kit, the BT-101 is honestly where you want to be. Has a 2-ounce serving of our solvent, 2-ounce serving of our Battleborn oil, the green microfiber cloth you see right here in front of you, and this mil-spec brush, plastic bristle brush, might I add. Bronze, very brittle, stabs you in the fingers, leaves that weird color exchange. You know, it doesn't have a high life cycle, so we use very hard bristles that are gonna break that carbon loose. Also wrapped inside of the green microfiber cloth are 2 sample packets of our Battleborn Grease, which a lot of folks don't know, and it's a good point that I'm bringing it up for this platform, and we'll get a little bit into it as we go into the video. The Battleborn Grease, Battleborn oil, and any oil that we offer are the same base technologies. Okay, what does that mean, especially for 1911? Some folks like to use grease in lieu of oil.
Absolutely.
Well, our oil and our grease mix together quite well. One is not going to cancel the other one out. The reason why I say that, a lot of our competitors can't make that claim. They're different technologies. All of our lubricants are the same base technologies. Different pour points and flash points, those are the numbers that you see on the outside of the packaging. The grease, for example, is -75 to 510, ASTM certified tested numbers. Our standard Battleborn oil is from -90 to 417, and our new HP Pro, which we'll go into here in a little bit, is from -65 to I believe 507. This one's still pretty new, so I'm trying to remember it. And they can all work together in tandem, so some folks like to use them in different spots. Now, let's go into the first spot. We've cleaned this gun before, so you could tell there's not a lot of carbon here. It's for the purposes of the video, but I would use my 16-ounce spray that I used in the last video. Okay, and the reason why I use this, for desktop purposes, if you have a gunsmithing bench or something like that, this one works perfectly. Remember, a little bit of this stuff goes a long way, so this one's going to last you a while. We've cleaned quite a few guns with this, and you can tell the only stuff that's been used is right here. So you would do a light misting on the inside, right here, let it sit like I did with the other ones. Right here, and right in this area. You can get right into this little recoil lug area. And there's always some carbon that gets built up in there, so you can let it sit. It's almost like pre-soaking clothes. The good thing about our solvent is that it's not going to dry up because it is a petroleum-based hydrocarbon instead of water-based. Okay, so let's get into the rest of the parts. We have the barrel as well. One important thing to note about 1911 barrels, you're going to see a lot of plain stainless steel barrels. I love our solvent for one of the main reasons for this gun is when you spray this, okay, you see a clean barrel, right? I see a clean barrel. But watch what happens, right? And I always use this brush to really dig it deep into those porous surfaces and just kind of break anything loose that might be there, okay? This happened to us at the NRA show last year with a very talented 1911 pistol smith, from Nighthawk Customs, actually, Mr. Richard Heine, who's a legend. He brought us one of his custom pistols and we did a quick cleaning. It looked just like this, and then when we started cleaning it, we started pulling carbon off the surface.
That's incredible. What looks already very clean was not.
Yeah.
It took breakthrough to do this, or breakthrough clean to come out, to lift it basically.
Yeah. And you can see right there where...
That's incredible.
So if you're trying to pull stains off of a stainless steel surface, which it's going to happen, there's some minor surface stains that you're going to see, it's going to work very well at doing that. Okay, now that we're talking about the barrel, you saw everything that we pulled off an already clean barrel. We can spray down the barrel as well. There's different schools of thought. Keep in mind that you can have a full-blown cleaning kit, or if you chose to go with our BT-101 kit, you also have the opportunity to buy this and add it to your cart. if you're not trying to build a full-blown cleaning kit, most of these pistols from the factory come with some sort of plastic cleaning rod. I know Glock comes with one where it has the provisions for a screw-on attachment, like a cleaning brush or a jag or something like that.
The standard basic one, yes.
Yeah, it is,
That's
and it's a universal thread pitch,
right.
And that's what Swabits has done. They have their fast patchless firearm cleaning value pack, which we sell on the website. And this pack, what you notice when you start digging into it, you have different little foam bore swabs that you can put the solvent on. You break one off, kind of like a model airplane kit. You break one off, you can wet it with the solvent and run it through the barrel, kind of like a patch.
I noticed they're color coded.
Exactly. They're also for different calibers. So this one is for .357 Magnum and 9mm. As you guys know, there's a similarity there between those calibers, so it's kind of a universal one. This one is for .223 and .556. Obviously, it's bigger, but this collapses as you pull it through. Cool. You also have, which one broke off, for the .30 caliber and .762. The most important thing about this one, keep in mind, there's a lot of .30 caliber guns out there and we don't think about it. 300 Black, 300 Whisper, 762 by 5.1, 308, 762 by 3.9, 762 by 5.4 Russian. There's a lot of different .30 calibers out there that this one will work for. So don't just think, oh, 308 NATO and that's it. Because you'll be buying a lot of expensive hardware and you really only need one to fill certain calibers. 45 caliber, that's the one that we want to use for this one. And obviously you got 40 and 10 mil.
And you can get multiple uses of each swab. Is
yes,
that right?
Actually, yes. See how it's foam and it's not cotton? You know,
right.
It feels like cotton, but it's a very porous, open-celled foam, right? So it's going to hold on to our solvent, and then you push it through, you knock out all the carbon that's in there, and then to clean it, you simply just dab it down. If you want to wash it out a little bit with a spritz of our solvent, you could do that. I've gotten up to about 5 uses out of one.
Wow.
So really, you do the math, you can clean a considerable amount of guns just with one little patch, where before you would have been spending a lot of money on other systems. And these are here.
I like this.
Put these off to the side. Another option that you have, and it's on our website as well, is our Quick P, and that stands for our Quick Weapons Improvised Cleaning Kit. And this one's universal for all pistols. That's what the P stands for. And this one, you have a 2-ounce serving of our solvent, our Battleborn oil. You also have the little pull-through handle. You have the pull-through cable, which is right over here, which connects to this. And then we have our series of brass jags with hard plastic bristles.
Not brass.
Exactly.
Hard plastic.
Like we talked about before with the brushes,
Right.
we don't use brass. It's kind of the industry norm. If you notice our recipe for everything that we do, we tend to go the path of least resistance. We don't like to follow the herd just because of the simple fact that someone else is doing it. So you're going to get your money's worth when you buy products from us, not just for our core technologies, but everything else that surrounds it.
Absolutely.
So you have the different calibers here from 45 all the way down to 22. You also have the patch holders for the patches that are provided with the kit. These are cloth patches. You can get at least two, 3 good pulls through a bore, and then 2 sample packets of our Battleborn Grease. So if you wanted to try that out and do the little mixing theory that we talked about between our Battleborn oil and the grease, absolutely, you at least have a sample pack so you can give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. But again, one is not going to break the other one down.
Worked for me.
Yeah. So we're going to put this off to the side real quick here. And seeing how we have these out, I'm going to give it a try. Notice how it's screwing right in. So even if you wanted to, even if you bought our Quick P kit, you can buy the Swabits patches, and it's backwards compatible to everything that we sell.
Technically, this fits any other basically tool out there too. Threads onto this.
Exactly.
It's a standard thread.
Exactly. It's a universal thread pitch for this specific system. So the way that you would do it, seeing how it's not a push through, I really want to put that out there. It's not a push through. You would actually put this after you snaked the cable through the barrel.
Oh, I see.
So there's a couple ways. You can just go crazy with the Cheese Whiz and spray down the barrel, or you can pre-moisten the Swabits. Put this through, put this at the end, right?
and just pull through. That's it, and you're done.
Look at everything that was in there. Look at everything.
That was a clean barrel, I thought.
We thought the outside of the barrel was clean too.
Yeah.
You know, and good point. We're talking about cleaning that. Just a couple dabs. Look how it cleans it. You know, a lot of folks can make claims, and that's fine. It's marketing. We all do it, right? Everybody has to say something to get attention for their product. But I promise you, the only thing we'll ever say about our product and products that we stock in our e-commerce store are just plain facts. We don't have to, I guess, get creative with anything. So we're going to do it once more. We're going to disconnect this. Put it through. Connect it again. Let's just do one more little quick spray. I do a slow pull to make sure I get everything that's stuck in between the lands and grooves. And look, there's still a little bit in there. Now with 2 pulls, notice this is coming out fairly clean.
Right.
So the solvent did its job of breaking everything loose.
On the first pass.
Exactly. And look, like I told you folks, I wouldn't make claims that we can't support. Just by dabbing it, you don't want to rub, just by dabbing it. It's reusable again.
That's incredible, really.
So let's put that off to the side. We're going to let the barrel dry. You want to let the solvent dry after you've cleaned the surface. Main reason, if it's still wet, well, what's the solvent's main use? What does it do? It breaks down other, products around it. So if you put our oil on the same surface that there's still solvent in there, it's like drinking for sobriety. You're never going to get anywhere. So let the surface dry or wipe it down and then apply the oil. We get some calls every now and again. We love you folks. We appreciate the opportunity to earn your business every time. But come on, guys, if there's still wet solvent on the surface, it's going to happen. You're going to break down the oil, okay? So that's probably what you're facing. That's probably what you're seeing. So this one was pre-cleaned like we were talking about before. Yes, you can wipe down these individual pieces as you see fit. It's just a quick wipe down, right? Now we're going to talk about the lubrication. We're talking about mixing and matching before. For the purposes of this video, we're going to talk about the HP Pro. Now the HP Pro, the main idea behind this product was a thicker, high temperature version of the Battleborn oil. Why? What does it do if it's just thicker? Okay, obviously we're able to hit 507. Again, ASTM International tested numbers, okay? We're talking about a series of lubricants that are synthetic, all right, that we've been able to control the output of the product. We've put rust inhibitors in there. With our grease, we've put PTFE in there as well, right, to handle higher temperatures. Being a synthetic product, they're not going to break down. So you don't have to worry about your firearm congealing and getting all gummy after you've taken all this time and spent all this money on cleaning products to clean it, lubricate it, put it for storage, and then when you finally have time to go to the range, you pull this gun out of the safe and it's just covered in sludge. It defeats the purpose. So with a product like this one, what I like doing with this one is almost like a pre-treating in a sense.
And I really like that needle tip to it. It can really be precise as we apply it without flooding the whole area.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up because that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So for guns like these, obviously there's a lot of moving parts in there. We do not recommend that you go in there and start taking these things apart, okay? There's a lot of intricate parts inside of different 1911s, unless you've gone through some sort of armorer's course or have a certification that can really protect you in any warranty issues. I do not recommend it. So with this precision needlepoint applicator, which you'll find on the HP Pro, we like to go in here, put a little bit on the frame rail area, okay? Now we do it on the other side. We put a little bit there, okay? I put a little dab right here where the disconnector is.
Right.
That's the part, if you guys don't know, that resets the sear internally, correct, Sam?
Correct.
Okay, and then if you wanted to, right here on each side of the hammer,
the hammer pan, yeah.
You can kind of get a little bit in there. It's going to bleed in. You can already see it kind of bleeding in. Okay, and that's out of the way. You could do the same thing here on the slide if you wanted to, but you don't want to go crazy with it. Now where the grease comes in. Some folks are 1911 builders. These are custom gun builders that are building these guns from scratch. When they're assembling the firearms, when they're putting them together for the first time, all the internal pieces, everything else, they like to use a type of grease. Well, I myself build custom 1911s from time to time, and one thing that I've noticed, reassembly can be kind of a pain in the ass. Well, one thing I like doing is I like dabbing a little bit of this grease on those internal parts, especially for 80 series 1911s, and kind of have them glue together. There's a level of tackiness to the grease, if you can give it a try, where it's going to almost hold the pieces to one another.
It does.
So those smaller pieces, you can put them together. Again, it's a lubricant, so you're hitting two birds with one stone. You're lubricating and preserving, and at the same time, you're making reassembly a lot easier for you. Food for thought. And seeing how you're already putting oil into the gun, when one comes in contact with the other, it's not going to nullify the other one. So you still have lubrication, you still have protection.
So they coexist, actually, to matter of speech, very nicely then.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the best ways to put it. And again, we're one of the leaders in the industry to be able to bring you that technology. A lot of folks, they start back from scratch when they have product line extensions or new products that they offer. So one thing that I do want to bring up for this same type of firearm, the solvent we talked about earlier is a pH neutral product. Okay, to give you a point of reference, tap water is a 6.5. Breakthrough cleaning solvent is right at 7. Why is that important? A lot of aftermarket modifications for the gun make it difficult to use other products without damaging those parts. Now these are G10 grips from a fabulous company by the name of VZ Grips. Check them out, www.vzgrips.com. They're the industry leader in grips for 1911s and CZs and a whole bunch of other companies out there. As a matter of fact, they come OEM on a lot of these guns already. A lot of folks don't know that. Kimbers, Colts, Nighthawk Customs, Wilson Combat. The reason why I bring that up, you see them a lot. It's bread and butter, this platform. So with the solvent, you can spray it. It's not going to dry it out. It's not going to mess it up. It's not going to turn into a low-level alkali when it's mixed with different hand oils and stuff that was already on the surface of these grips. These are pretty expensive. You're getting your money's worth. They're great grips, but you want to protect your investment. So that's another important note. Also, for a lot of folks that use pistol lights, like the one that we have mounted on here, this one's a little freebie for you guys, all right, because you tuned in here. I shot my pistol light. Damn, I can never use it again because it's cloudy. Use a standard eraser. You don't have to use our solvent. You don't have to use anything. Just use an eraser. Start going in a circle. What a lot of folks don't know about erasers is that they're a very, very, very mild abrasive, right?
That's right.
So,
in a sense, you're polishing the lens.
Exactly. Look at how much carbon I just took off of the front.
Huh, that's incredible, really.
And guess what?
Look at the eraser, how black it is now. Wow.
You're only going to get results from us. If you wanted to, a lot of folks have done this. You can put a thin layer of the grease on the front when all you're doing is practice. Why? Because the grease is not going to hurt anything, and it's not going to break down over time. It's not going to mess up any of the seals or any of the O-rings inside of this already waterproof flashlight.
And yet it acts as a barrier.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a great
So
bud.
keep that in mind. Always know that these are different uses for our products. It's not just for cleaning, it's not for just lubrication. A lot of folks day to day are starting to see different uses for all the products that we offer. There's even a bike store down in Miami that sells our grease just for the simple purpose of the cranks on the back of the wheels and the chains and stuff like that. I had no idea, but seeing how our grease is also a great water repellent, it works in all environments. All right, Sam, if you want to go ahead and lead us in the reassembly of the gun. Now, mind you, all the parts that needed lubrication are lubricated, except for the barrel, I do want to say, because we're letting that one dry. So, good point is put a little bit of oil right on the locking lugs of the barrel, and a little snail trail down the top and on the barrel hood. Now, a little bit goes a long way. You're going to notice, especially with this thicker oil. And one of the great features about this oil, you can use it as almost like a treatment. Let's say you put on a thin coat and let it sink into the metal, let it get absorbed, and then you go and chase it with another coat on top of that. Well, that second layer is almost like a sacrificial layer. So what does that mean? When you're done shooting, you can come back and wipe most of the crap right off the surface. So it works in a sense like a CLP, like an all-inclusive system. The reason why we haven't gone with the term CLP with this is because we have dedicated cleaners that are meant to do just that, clean. Think of when you're cleaning a tile floor. You can put oil on top and kind of rub it around. It's going to move
Right.
stains around, but it's never going to truly clean it. That's the problem with CLPs. But this one, in theory, works as one. It's more of a field expedient clean for austere environments, or when you don't have a lot of time for firearms maintenance. Less time cleaning, more time shooting. Sam, if you can go ahead and lead us.
All right, let's put this beautiful 1911 back together. In a sense, the sequence is exact reverse of the disassembly. First, we're going to take the barrel and put it through the front end like that, forward, as you can see, and making sure that it is actually locked. Here we go. At this point, the bushing comes in and making sure we rotate it in the 4 o'clock position like so, and then lock it in place until it bottoms out. We will rotate it to the other side. It is ready now for the guide rod and guide rod spring. They come in next, and coming in from the rear, we put the guide rod back in, and you see this half cut notch right here should fit the contour of the bottom of the barrel like so. As we place it in place like this now, we're ready to put in the frame. We basically match the frame rails, you can see here, with the slide grooves like so. We slide the frame over the slide, and this point we're turning it around and bringing.
One thing I do want to bring up, Sam, and I just thought of it because I have a couple at home. With the 80 series 1911, there's actually a little arm that extends up here. I've
Right.
learned from my mistakes. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
Correct.
When putting the slide on, make sure that that little arm is all the way down, or else it'll shear right off, and then at that point your firearm is
stuck.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of.
Yeah, very good point. Once we put the slide release lever back in, just before the next step, which will be the lock, I'd like to show you, we basically, once they line up, we press on both sides to avoid that, what they call a dummy scratch, and push it right in place. Now we have that lever is in place, and at this point, we will basically move the slide forward to engage the safety. Once the slide is on safety, it's helping us as it will not run backwards. Next step is installing the recoil spring. Notice that the recoil spring has actually different ends to it. We will use the closed end to go over the guide rod like so. Okay, here we go. And at this point, we will basically take the spring cap, and again, this will be under pressure. It's important to maintain control over it. Aim it down, so just in case you lose it, it's not going to fly anywhere or hurt anybody. And we press it down like so, and start the.
So it looks like you're capturing the
yeah,
the
exactly.
tip of that.
I'm capturing, as you can see, I'm capturing the tip of the cap with the bushing. Once it's captured on that step down, now it's time to use the tool and complete the and rotate it. And I'm looking to hear this good news click. Here it comes.
Awesome.
That tells us that it's secure in place, and the next thing is to just do a function check and put it on safety. She's ready to go.
All right, beautiful. One thing I do want to recommend, guys, if you're not a pro, if you haven't done this enough times, that spring is no joke. Wear eye protection. Okay, wear eye protection while you're taking it apart if you're fairly
Absolutely.
new to this. That can seriously, I know it's like a Christmas story, you put your eye out, but it's true. Okay, it's true. It's going to happen. It's going to come at you at a crazy amount of speed, especially a lot of these higher end tactical guns. They have a higher spring rating on that recoil spring. Standard one, you know, pales in comparison to a lot of these faster action ones. So it's really going to put a hurting on you. Always make sure to wear eye protection if you're not comfortable with it. And always refer to your owner's manual for anything else in between. So, well, Sam, it's been a pleasure. Why don't you run us through the rest of it here?
Absolutely. A quick recap before we go. Today we discussed how to properly disassemble, clean and maintain your 1911 pistol, all while using the best firearm cleaning and lubrication product in the market today, Breakthrough Clean. As always, thank you for joining us. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay up to speed on all our Breakthrough Clean University videos. Also, check our social media pages for up-to-the-minute news, product offers, and giveaways. Thank you, Gabe.
Thanks, Sam.
See you in the next video.